Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Guitar Souls podcast. This is episode number 80, and I am one of your hosts, Mr. Levi Clay, and I'm here, of course, as usual, with my beautiful, handsome, talented friend, Mr. Mike McLaughlin. How is it going, buddy?
You said a lot of things about me that aren't true, and I'd like to refute them. One was handsome, the other is talented.
There was lots of flirting, that's what that was.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. But as you said just before we started filming, you don't want me to come to your house and winch you, because I had to go for a COVID test the other day. And I'm also on doxycycline, which is the antibiotic that apparently they give you if they think you might have COVID, but they can't prove it. So, okay, I'm not bad. How are you?
Yeah. Well, we're essentially in a COVID danger zone now. You probably more so than anyone else.
I'm the real Kenny Loggins.
You directly have people in your immediate, extended family. Does the Wayne's dad count as extended family? Is that what that would be?
In a strange way, probably, yeah.
Yeah. So you have secondhand contact, I would say, with people that are COVID-y, and of course Lanarkshire that we live in is in talks of potentially being level 4 lockdown. So it's really come here now, really come. I remember months and months ago, almost a year ago now, sat in my living room with Sean Smith as he panicked about this virus that was kicking off in China, and I was like, Sean, calm the fuck down, mate. Calm down. You're getting out of your bin over nothing, right? Come back to me when it's here. Come back to me when it's in Wishaw. It's in Wishaw now.
3 hours later. I know exactly what you're talking about, man, because I done the same thing at the start of this year, the end of last year. Nancy's mum scarily predicted this was going to be really bad. And I was like, nah, I think these are all making a really big fuss about nothing. Like, remember, they did the same thing with Ebola. They did the same thing with SARS. They did the same thing with avian flu, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, a month later, I just went, nah, I was completely wrong. This is not good.
Yeah. So this is bad just times. New life now, though. This is the crazy new life. We were going to cover that story a couple of weeks ago, weren't we? Where there was a concert performed where everyone was in bubbles.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't sure if that was legit or not. I didn't, click things to look into it, but
I think it was like a dance gig or something. So there's every chance it could have been legit. If you've ever seen any footage for like Tomorrowland or any of these big shows, the money that goes into them. Timmy Mallet, I think, is a guy.
Right.
Timmy Trumpet? Not Timmy Mallet. Timmy Mallet's a comedian, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
It's Timmy Trumpet, sorry. He is like quite a big DJ, actually. And there's footage of him on stage at Tomorrowland, and the stage is bigger than the crowd. And it's not because it's a small crowd. It's ridiculous. Just all lights and show off.
Yeah. The problem with those bubbles would be, surely unless you've got speakers inside them, you're getting like a severely hampered version of the sound.
You get that at every festival you've ever been to, and you know that yourself. Unless you're on that barrier, you're getting one of those, like, the speakers, the satellite speakers that are halfway up the crowd, booming 2 seconds behind the music that's actually happening here, plus the crowd noise.
Yeah.
And your feet are sore, and it's raining, and the wind comes past and changes where the sound's going, and things start going in and out, and volume and phasing, and just reality. You know what I mean? These are the things you need to deal with, and that's why staying at home with headphones on is better than anything else.
It's almost like festivals are the worst thing that have ever happened. But did you know what the worst thing that? Did you know that what isn't the worst thing that's ever happened?
Did you know what isn't the goodness best thing?
Stop picking on me. This show is brought to you by Ormsby Guitars. If you want to see something beautiful, head on over to Ormsby's Instagram page right now and see what they are all about. Ormsby Guitars have been at the cutting edge of guitar design innovation since Perry started the company way back in 2003. Since then, the brand has gone on to be one of the #1 brands associated with Australia and modern guitar design. Aside from having one of the most ridiculous custom shops in the market today and a dedicated team that can essentially build you anything that your heart desires, more recently the brand has gained critical acclaim for their runs of custom order guitars manufactured in Korea, shipped to Australia, and then sent out through their distributor network. These guitars include incredible designs such as the Hype and the Goliath. If you head on over to Ormsby's website right now and check out the pre-order section, you can pre-order a Goliath Run 14 guitar now for under $1,200. That's an incredible price and an amazing amount of guitar for your money. So as always, a massive thank you to our friends over at Ormsby Guitars. You guys absolutely rock. Please do go and check them out. Follow them on Instagram. Let them know that we sent you, because they are awesome And you guys are awesome for watching and listening to the show. And I should probably, at the start of the show, we're going to put the call to action out there. Of course, we're usually doing the usual call to actions of please go and check out the Guitar Souls merchandise. You can find that link in the description. But actually, there's another thing that's really helpful for, helping the show get further, aside from, of course, sharing it with a friend. Just interact wherever you're watching this. If you are listening to us on iTunes or if you're listening to us on Spotify, wherever it happens to be, leave us a review. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment. All of this stuff, it's really, really important that the kind of interaction is high on any Guitar Soul stuff, because then the show gets shown to more people. And the worst thing in the world is when you're making content that nobody is watching, which leads me nicely onto my Brent Mason videos, which are still happening. Of course, they're still happening. One every single day. I'm at 70 days now, and it is tanking my channel, like absolutely fucking tanking my channel. They went from getting 1,000 views solidly, now like 300 or 400 views. And for a channel with 35,000 subscribers, when a video is getting 400 views, you're doing something terribly wrong. But I'm a stubborn motherfucker, and I'm going to keep with it until Fender send me a fucking custom shop Brent Mason. It's just not going to happen. I've given up all hope at this stage.
I think the problem is that nobody likes country music except you in Scotland.
True, yeah.
No, it's not true. I'm only kidding. But it's obviously it's a very select clientele. It's a niche thing.
You'd think it'd be more than 400 people.
I know, man. I'm pretty disappointed to hear about that for you. I'm sure it'll pick up again. I don't really have too much to tell you about, but Party Cannon have been in the studio, socially distanced, obviously, wearing masks, working on a few projects. We filmed a couple of little playthroughs. We got a very initial rough DIY cut with the initial bounce audio with no mixing, and it sounds fucking tremendous, to the point where I had to listen to it 3 or 4 times like, is this the actual recording put over the video? Like, I was really, really impressed.
Yeah.
Big thanks to Duncan McLaren for doing that. Thank you, Duncan. And Bailey Jr. for filming us. Thanks. Thank you very much, guys. Scapegoat TV. And I don't know what Duncan calls himself when he does his own recording, so I can't plug him. Sorry, Duncan. We all love you. Check his band out, Venom Wolf. That'll do. So anyway, these guys have been helping us out. Got the couple of things filmed. Duncan also recorded some drum tracks for the new Party Cannon stuff, so we can do some pre-production demos, and they start this weekend. So that should be fun. Especially considering it's going to be me and the rest of the band recording the guitars ourselves, so it's probably going to be really bad. But the good thing about that is we can make it really bad in the way that we want it, because that's how death metal works. So that's essentially everything that's going on with us. I've got a couple of other things in the pipeline, as have the band, but we're not saying too much at the moment. But it's all to go towards some fun new projects, we'll say.
Good. Who knows? Maybe one of these days gigs will come back and we'll be able to go back to the days of talking about what gigs you've got this weekend.
That'd be very nice, wouldn't it? Genuinely have no gigs booked for this year. Every one of them get cancelled. Even the ones that were like Manchester, Cardiff, whatever else, like gone. Just while I've got the opportunity then, I don't know how many people who listen to the podcast or watch us follow Party Cannon on social media, which is fine. I'm not plugging us for you to do so. But if you would like to be involved in a project that we have, and you have any photos of yourself in a bad state of inebriation, specifically where you are being sick, have been sick, are covered in sick, are helping someone else being sick, etc., sick being the theme, send them to us. And you might be part of something nice. Well, it's not nice, but you might be part of something interesting.
You might be part of Party Cannon history, which is...
that's it.
Yeah.
Deemed to be forgotten.
I like that as a call to action. Please go and follow Party Cannon on social media. You'll fucking hate them, but it will help the guys out. So
yeah, so send us pictures of you being sick. Thanks. And by the way, that's not even me being silly. That's a genuine thing we're looking for. Yeah. We've had over 400 submissions, I think, so far.
Nice. Someone has to sift through those.
I'll happily do it. It's a dirty job, but someone's got to do it.
Very good. Okay, so why don't we start the show by talking about Five Finger Death Punch again, just briefly. It's kind of like a follow-up from the last episode. And the reason for this is, like, after the last show went out, we were super tight with the last show in terms of timing of things. I think we filmed for like 59 minutes or something like that. It was a really to-the-point show. And we didn't really get the chance to go as in-depth as I wanted to get to go with that as a subject. But evidently it was relatively well received. Andy James reached out and was like, I listened to the show. Good take. Like, appreciate it.
Thanks, Andy.
Appreciate trying to have a little bit more of a fair take on things because most people aren't bothering. But yeah, and he could have absolutely listened to that and gone, "Fuck you guys."
I mean, at the end of the day, he would be more than entitled to do that.
Yeah.
And what to bear in mind is that certainly the context that I would like to come from is I am in no way, shape, or form an authority in these things. And my opinion is just as valid as anybody else's. Good or bad, indifferent or incredibly angry. It's just an opinion.
Sure.
But I'm glad Andy got the right idea of it. Obviously, we want to support him. As you said yourself, it's such a fucking cool opportunity for him, man.
Yeah.
Totally deserves it. Ridiculous player. Gets to get him out on stage with some ridiculous crowds.
Sure.
It's probably going to be some fucking silly things eventually, once obviously COVID goes away. But yeah, I think that it's good to see that someone can be balanced about taking fair criticism on board and not taking it personally.
Yeah, I'm gonna make reference to something that I think everybody should go and watch. I'd be very surprised if you haven't watched it yet. Borat 2, the new Borat film. You seen it?
I have. So I am usually incredibly critical, or skeptical is probably a better word,
Sure.
when it comes to sequels of comedies.
Sure.
I haven't watched Anchorman 2.
Right.
Loads of other things, because I just have this overarching fear that when I do watch it, it's going to be shit and it's going to ruin the original ones for me. Same as sometimes you're like, I want to watch this film because I've got pure nostalgia, and then you watch it and you go, oh, broke the rose-tinted glasses. Sure. But no, I'd heard from a few people it was really mental, and one or two people had said, it's alright, it's not as good as the original, but it's still alright. And I was like, well, you know what, I'm going to get an opportunity. I'll go and try it myself. And I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was really clever. And I can understand people's criticisms of it being not as funny as the first, maybe, or no the same kind of thing, but such an interesting spin for Sacha Baron Cohen, or Baron Sacha Cohen. I always get it the wrong way around.
Sacha Baron Cohen,
Sacha Baron Cohen, to be like, right, well, I'm too famous to really do a film specifically about this guy, but I'll do a film about this guy in a weird context and get away with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he did.
I'll throw this out there as a semi-controversial take. I think it's better than the first one. I think it's tighter. I think the statement that he's trying to make is a lot more to the point. You know what I mean?
Yes.
There's absurd moments in it, but I think they serve to the wider narrative of what he's trying to say. That I feel the art that he's going for is a lot more to the point than, say, the original film, which felt a little bit more ludicrous in nature.
Yeah, and the kind of surreal, seeing how far he can get away with weird things with people rather than making statements. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I don't know if I would say it was better, but I could definitely agree with what you're saying, is that the statement is more clear. I think after Who is America, I think he very much went, right, cool, I know how to target this in a much better way, rather than it just being about, you all think I'm the stupid one, but actually you're the joke kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it was good.
Yeah, so I imagine many people are going, hang on a minute, Levi, what has this got to do with Five Finger Death Punch? What has Borat got to do with Five Finger Death Punch? But I've got a spin on this, and it kind of goes into our take that we did last week when we were talking about Five Finger Death Punch. So in the lead up to Borat being released, of course it builds to that tremendous scene at the end of the film with Rudy Giuliani. Yeah.
Big Dirty Rudy.
Yeah. No. But yeah. I found that entire scene cringy. But
it was.
But you know what I found more cringy? I found all of the press leading up to the film's release reporting on that story even more cringy, in like the same way that Metal Sucks were covering the Five Finger Death Punch thing, because the story that everybody seemed to want to run with was Rudy Giuliani caught on camera trying to have sex with 15-year-old girl. That was the headline that they were going with, and that's absolutely not the case. That's absolutely not what happens in that film, because first of all, the what's her name? Bakalova. I forget her first name. Whoever plays his daughter, Tutar.
It's
Mariana,
something
Maria
like that,
Bakalova,
I believe.
She was great in it, I must say.
She really was.
But the point is, she's not a 15-year-old girl, you know? And at no point during her meeting with Rudy Giuliani did she say, I'm a 15-year-old girl. She's she's a girl in her 20s. She's clearly a girl in her 20s. And when you watch that scene, she's a girl in her 20s that is extremely flirty with him and physical with him, and then says to him, do you want to come into the bedroom for a drink? So for the press to then run with, oh, he tried to have sex with a 15-year-old girl, is, like, to me, as misrepresentative as the press a couple of weeks ago going with Five Finger Death Punch are anti-mask, despite the fact that they sell masks.
Aye, I get you. Okay. That's a good point. I know what you're saying. I think they found it really easy to spin it because obviously they took Sacha Baron Cohen's joke and comments when he goes into the room.
Yeah,
as the context
she's 15,
to run
she's
it
too
with.
old for you.
But was that also an invention of Sacha Baron Cohen to get the media reporting on it and get the hype up, and also to make a point about how the media will misrepresent anything it can?
Yeah.
Is that like a meta joke?
No, because if anything, Sacha Baron Cohen has made himself a bit of a meta joke with the film, because prior to this film, his big push for the last year or so has been talking about how Facebook should be censoring things. Facebook should censor, fake news, and they should be censoring things that are contrary to science, like anti-science posts and things like that, and that they have the power to do all of this, and they don't do enough censoring. And obviously that's changed now. They are starting to censor things, and shock fucking horror, Sacha Baron Cohen is now being censored on these platforms because the film is inherently in line with a lot of these ideas of like anti-mask and shit like that. So he's finding things are being censored, and he's now complaining about that on Twitter, and it's just like, this is what happens, you absolute buffoon. You don't pray for the censorship of people that you disagree with, because they will censor you too.
He's not very often wrong in those capacities. He's not an ignorant man.
I know.
So it's a bit of a strange scenario. I wonder if it's maybe just been like a blindside, considering everything's been going on.
I think I do get it. Like, sure, there is the need to kind of like, I want to shut down the like people that are people that push religion on other people. I want these people shut down, but not. I don't want them banned. I want to be there, ready to explain to them why they're wrong about things. You know what I mean? And
I
feel
want an equal platform rather than being deplatformed.
Sure, and I feel that Sacha is just so desperate to get rid of people that he deems to be problematic that he's ended up being the one that's being gotten rid of. It's because I think if you think back to that first Borat film, it amazes me that the mob had not come for him sooner. You know what I mean? There's some extremely sketchy things in that first film. The throw the Jew down the well, and like, he'd be the first person that these people would come for. So for him to be like, we need to be censoring people.
Is it the wrestler of the UFC that he kisses the other guy and that kicks everything off? Is that Bruno?
That's in Bruno,
isn't
Bruno,
it?
Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah.
Oh, he's brave.
Yeah, I'll give him that.
I mean, you're saying like extremely questionable. The bit where he's like dressed up and what's obviously meant to be a comical,
the caricature
Jew style thing, when he's going into the, where is it he's going?
He goes into a synagogue, and
the synagogue. That's exactly where he goes, and the way he's speaking with that woman as well.
Yeah,
as like and like pretending she's going to steal his fucking soul and all that. It's just a bit mental.
Yeah,
I don't know. I enjoyed the film. Anyway,
good.
We'll get back to the point here, because I think you and I are both very guilty of going right off track. And as much as I love conversation with you, we're getting so far away from the point. This is a really throwaway thing.
Sure.
I just posted this today, because I only saw it today. It only got posted earlier on. So Metal Sucks have run a story saying how to write a 5-finger Death Punch song, and essentially this is just a couple of paragraphs and a link to good friends of mine, good friends of the shows. Levi's got one of their t-shirts. They're Raised by Owls boys, who are memeing quite a bit on Facebook these days, and getting, I think, towards YouTube. I've not used their YouTube stuff, and they stream on Twitch sometimes, playing games and talking shit. Funny boys, great music, good content, and this how to write a 5-finger Death Punch song, the video to it's really fucking funny. So go and get a like. Tell them the Guitar Soul sent them.
Yeah, it is funny. It's funny. I'll give it that. Like, it's
Andy, if you're listening, I hope you watch it and you tell me whether you actually think it. That'd be funny too.
I watched it, and like normally it would be the kind of thing where I'm like, why are we covering this? Because really it's so short that you just want to put it in the show for people to actually watch it. But and I don't really want to suggest that people go and watch a video that is on Metal Sucks channel. The only criticism of this, well, I have criticism of it, but the main criticism of this would be, boys, get it up on your own YouTube channel. I
think they have.
It's on Metal Sucks channel.
Oh, they decided to host it?
Produced with Metal Sucks. So, yeah. Believe in yourself. Because Metal Sucks were going to post this on their page regardless of whether or not you put it on their YouTube channel. You know what I mean? I
didn't know that they'd partnered with Metal Sucks. I thought they were just reporting on it. Sorry, that's fair enough. You can see it on their Facebook And there's also a link to their socials in the article. So go
Okay.
and add Raised by Owls on Facebook. Check them out in Bandcamp. The Great British Grind Off is fantastic. The album art is fucking unbelievable. And they're generally nice and funny guys.
Yep.
So batter in.
So you mentioned that they're relatively active on Twitch. Shall I use that as a segue?
Go then. That's a really good segue.
You see what I'm doing? You see what I'm doing?
Oh, aye, cheeky.
Dragon Force's Herman Li has been banned from Twitch.
He's not very
active.
Why are we weighing?
Oh, we're not.
That's no nice.
We're not weighing, but we're weighing. Way.
So this is like when a barmaid drops a glass in the pub.
Exactly.
They're just cheering because it happened. They're just cheering because they're like, oh, something to laugh about.
Exactly. Like, way, someone else's misfortune. Way.
Schadenfreude. Yeah.
Yeah,
bitte.
So, do you want to read this story?
I'll go for it. Right, another Metal Sucks article. So this was reported yesterday. Dragon Force guitarist Herman Li has been banned from Twitch for unknown reasons, the esports site Dexerto reports. According to GameRiv, Li had more than 140,000 followers at the time of the ban. This means the Twitch channel was likely a pretty solid source of income from the iconic power metal shredder. By way of comparison, Trivium's Matt Heafy has roughly 180,000 followers, and he considers Twitch to be his second job. For the sake of privacy, Twitch does not comment on moderation decisions, and a rep for Dragon Force tells us that Li had no additional information at this time. But Dexerto, don't know how to say that, does hypothesize as to why Li's account may have been suspended. And the speculation is that the artist has been banned as part of the new wave of DMCA strikes, I always say it the wrong way around, that have been sweeping across Twitch. As a musical streamer, DMCA makes the lives of musicians particularly difficult. Many have and may be banned in the future due to these new regulations, even if they are playing their own music. That's bad times, isn't it? It's really, really bad times. I'll read the rest of this because there's not much left there.
Sure.
Indeed, earlier this summer, Li reportedly assured streamers DMCA strikes would not be issued for the use of Dragon Force music, and yet it's entirely possible this is why Li cannot currently utilise the service. We'll let you know when and if this is resolved. In the meantime, he's streaming on Dragon Force's YouTube channel instead.
Yeah.
That's good.
So
that's good. I hope this is resolved, because see this fucking people being banned for platforms left, right and centre. I mean, it's a grey area in my mind because they are private businesses. They have terms and conditions, terms of service, guidelines for community guidelines you have to follow. But I'm not saying if it is a DCM or a DMCA, I'm just saying in general.
Yeah.
But I also would never, ever want to see anyone deplatformed without good reason.
Sure.
And it doesn't seem as if there's good reason here unless something's happened that's been completely swept under the rug, which I doubt.
Look, even if it's because of DMCA strikes, then it's because of DMCA strikes. We can't, like, the reason I wanted to talk about this is because I saw some people and I tried to explain to people why they were wrong about this, but they were saying this seems like the perfect opportunity for musicians to rise up and create our own streaming platform where stuff like this won't happen. And it's like, What do you mean? Some sort of streaming platform that you create where you're not legally obligated to act if someone files a DMCA notification against content that you're hosting? How would that work? Like, Twitch, if this is a DMCA takedown thing, Twitch will just be acting within the law to protect themselves. You know what I mean? Like, if people are filing DMCA claims against content that Herman has used because he's using copyrighted content and the owner doesn't want him using it, Twitch can either remove the content or they can leave the content there and then open themselves up to a lawsuit. And it's, of course, that's what they're going to do. That's just the way things have to be done. You know what I mean?
I think the only way that would work is if Elon Musk decided he was going to put a server on the moon and somehow we were getting satellite internet. Because, I mean, really, the jurisdiction wouldn't fit there and that, if that's where it's hosted. But that's not going to happen. So, he's too busy having crazy named children and being crazy.
Yeah, that's
that sounds like a really bad dig, because I think there's been a few comments about him talking about reinventing batteries and redesigning batteries, and then saying that he's not taking his lithium, as in like a really horrible jab mental health wise.
Right.
I didn't mean mental in that capacity, just for clarification. It's a word that I use very often without thinking of the consequence. So
the problem with this story, of course, is it's all just speculation. You know what I mean? Like, it's speculating as to why his content has been removed, and it's so easy to get angry at Twitch, but I mean, for fuck's sake, the guy, he owns copyrights, he owns intellectual property, and he would protect his intellectual property in the same way that anyone else would done. We don't know what his content has been removed for, but it's entirely possible that it has been removed for legally fair reasons. Whether or not you can argue that those are morally fair reasons are entirely different. I'm sure his channel will come back. He's too profitable for Twitch for him to be gone forever. And he will be more careful about what's happening on his channel, I would say. But until there's copyright reform, like, this is just the nature of the beast. So to say, it's very difficult for musicians to stream. No, it's not. It's not difficult for musicians to stream. Just don't use content that you don't have the rights to use. In the same way that me and Mike wouldn't go on Twitch right now, put on all the Star Wars films, stream them for everybody, and us sit and watch them and say, oh, this is my favorite bit. Like, we don't own those films. We don't have the right to broadcast those films. You don't have the right to broadcast music that you don't own. That's just how copyright works. And if copyright didn't work like that, none of the people that you love would be able to do what they do for a living, because they wouldn't make a living doing it. So
it's such a terrible system, but it still works. So until a better alternative turns up, there's not really much we can do.
Yeah.
Anyway,
just one final point. It's not down for us to point out that streaming is profitable or that it benefits the bands or stuff like that. Sure, you can make those arguments, and we can argue about those till the cows come home. But as we said on the show many times before, until the laws change and copyright law changes, this is the way it is, and we need to operate within the remit of the law. Unfortunately,
yes.
Or
There's
fortunately,
an old saying: "Play the cards you're dealt," and that's the way I see that. Anyway, I've got a good segue for you.
Sure.
So you made a comment that something might be legally right, but not morally right.
Okay.
Is that correct? Or is that the right way you said it? Yeah?
Yeah, it sounds about right, yeah.
Amazon Basics guitar pedals are now available. They might be legally allowed, but morally, these are shit cheap copies with Jeff Bezos scraping yet more of the finite money on this planet to hoard even more. And all I'm going to say is, just go and buy like a Kaleen or one of the other wee pedals that are clearly the same brand as these, whatever they're Bayang, whatever the name is on them. No, I'm not being silly. Like, that is what they are.
Sure.
100%. And I think on top of that, the majority of them are probably like copies of like Electro Harmonics or Moore or cheaper brands that have maybe done their own A&R to some degree.
Sure.
Or R&D. So starting at $26.75.
Which is astonishingly cheap.
It is, but I would rather take rolls of quarters to that amount and shove each one of them individually into my eye socket.
I actually have a different take on this, and it's not about the morality of whether or not you should buy these. The thing I find very, very interesting about this is, like, obviously Amazon are will look into making products that they have sales data for, things that they know people are searching for. You know what I'm getting at here? And this
I'll tell
suggests
you one
to me
better than that.
pedals are profitable.
Well, I'll tell you one better than that, and what you're saying, but further. If you give Amazon a product to sell on your behalf, they take like a warehousing fee, but they do everything else, right? So say you sent them 100 of these pedals that had your name, your brand and stuff on them, and then they sell them and they do well and you get your money from it. I don't know if it's in the terms and conditions or if it's something that's just not specifically mentioned, but this has happened over and over. Amazon Basics as a brand literally just take things that people are selling that they themselves have created or other companies are representing, reverse engineer them,
sure,
and then just sell them as their own and completely obliterate that as any sort of competition.
Sure.
Which I just can't abide. And I'm not saying that you should be rushing out to buy a Bayang or a Xeon or Kaleen or any of these brands, but if you're going to buy a cheap pedal, at least buy one from one of the places that isn't pretending this isn't something that came off Wish.com with a different name on it.
I think all of that stuff is the same as well, to be fair. Like companies like Joyo that are essentially in business because they were copying things like the Sewer Riot. Like, this is just...
go
on.
If you're talking about it being in business only because they've copied something, right, fair enough, but Amazon doesn't need to copy anyone. They don't have to be muscling in this kind of game. And companies like Joyo, which is totally fair criticism, but then they've come out with like the zombie head and those little 1 watt power amp heads. They're quite cool. They're interesting, at least. So, right, fair enough. So this is a brand that's reaching into specifically one small brand reaching into music industry sales and music gear, right? Okay, not a good way to go about it. I'm certainly not advocating them copying other people's stuff and reverse engineering it and then just putting the same thing out in a different box.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd rather give them the money, yet again, than Amazon.
Yeah, I would encourage people not to buy these pedals just for the pure and simple fact that they will sound like $26 pedals. That's the real issue here. Well, it's not the real issue, but that should be where this thing stops. Like, these shouldn't be profitable for Amazon. People shouldn't be buying these just purely because they won't be as good as other ways that you can spend your money. You're getting $26 worth of pedal for $26. So don't do it. Don't do it. Think about it. Don't do it. Terrible waste of your time. I don't know why I'm...
Stop it. There's every chance these are all right, but I just...
Well, Trey from Gear Gods has got some videos of him demoing them on his website, on his YouTube channel. And, you know, they're passable, but it's 2020. You know, passable isn't good enough anymore.
You're right. Yep. Not when you've got, like, again, to mention them, Moore bringing out pedals that will run custom IRs in front of your preamps that you can buy from them that model just about anything you can think of. The Diesel Hagen 5150, a Fender Bassman, like all these wee preamp pedals that are the same size as these with so much more effect and not that much more money.
Sure. I've also seen reports of Amazon Basics products, electrical products, bursting into flames. So...
I mean, they probably just copied the iPhone charger.
Yeah.
I don't get why iPhone users would ever slag Android users when every single iPhone has the worst charger cable known to man with an exposed fucking mains cable on it. Every one of them. It's the most flawed design I've ever seen, and I've seen Gibson's.
Well, I mean, we're currently dealing with an Android user and an iPhone user, and I'm not really feeling the need to say anything. I'm all right with my phone of choice.
I know, yeah.
Okay, should we talk about Trapped? Because of course we'll talk about Trapped.
Why not? I mean, it's just getting to the point where we just... And you know what? I'm kind of in two minds about this one, because I'm sick fed up of giving them any attention whatsoever, in the context that it's clearly what they want. But I also really enjoy laughing at people who think you're laughing with them.
Yeah, no, that's fair, because their tweet has 60 likes. You know, like...
That's nearly as many albums as he sold.
Yeah. Like, just read the tweet, and then we'll do a brief rundown of the story.
Do you want me to read the image first?
Sure.
And then their comment back? So, Trees is a venue in Dallas. Trees has tweeted, due to reasons beyond our knowledge, the Trapped show has been cancelled. All tickets will be refunded to the point of purchase. We apologise for any inconvenience, and then just signed off as Trees, which must be the venue. That's their logo. Excuse me. So Trapped have wrote, so at Trees, tagged them in Dallas, caved to threats to employees by a few of the under 100 social justice warriors who bitched about Trapped in Dallas and who are also absolute sheep brainwashed by mainstream media. What a shame. Next Dallas show for Dallas Proud Boys and LEPOIB. CUSJW's there. I don't know what the LE means, but POYB apparently is a saying, proud of your boys, which is a Proud Boys saying.
Right.
I'm genuinely speechless. It's nearly as bad as Trump, stand back and stand by. Like, you're actually willing what is known as a far-right, almost terrorist group. Anything that uses violence to further a political agenda is terrorism. And the Proud Boys have been known to be fairly antagonistic, carrying weapons, etc. Get that's not violence, but it's not a step off. Marching across whatever bridge it was after Trump made his comment. Like, just, oh my God. And you know what's worse about it? It's not as if they're supporting Trapped. Trapped's trying to, like, they're trying to co-opt onto people being outraged about far-right, nationalist, almost violent groups. Like,
it's because Chris Taylor Brown knows that he'll be able to find some fans among Proud Boys.
Well, that's it. I mean, there's idiots everywhere. But
the funny thing about this is he's like, by a few of the under 100 social justice warriors who bitched about Trapped in Dallas, didn't even capitalise Trapped there,
You didn't. I laughed at that.
Yeah, under 100 social justice warriors. What? So probably about the same amount of people that bought tickets to your show.
Aye. What really, really gets my nut is, right, see if you read this tweet, it just sounds like he's went, what would Donald Trump tweet if he was me? What a shame. Mainstream media, brainwashed, sheep. Threats to employees by a few of the under 100 social justice warriors.
Yeah.
Like, shut the fuck up. Nobody cares about you, man. Like, you're beyond being a laughing point now. People are so indifferent to how useless and terrible you are that you pop up and people go, oh, it's him again.
Yeah, well, I would love to, because I can see there's 124 people tweeting about this. I'd love to see what the replies are, but just as a reminder, Chris Taylor Brown has blocked me on Twitter because the burn was that bad. So yeah, this will really annoy Chris Taylor Brown if he ever sees this. But Chris, feel the burn.
Ooh.
What a fan! What a great day!
The comments section essentially is just them taking a piss at them.
Yeah, of course.
One tweet is just, is COVID-19 real or fake? And within the same hour, Trap replied, you think that had anything to do with this show being cancelled a day after it went on sale? Shut up. I know, just...
Absolutely pleb. So I'm going to do an album recommendation now. Now, I don't know if you made the connection with this yet. Did you make the connection? The Nicholas Brandstorm record? Sorry, the Nicholas Brandstorm record, Circle of Silence.
No.
So I posted this up in our group.
I've just seen who's on it.
Yes.
Right, I don't know who Nicholas Brandstrom is, but Morgan Agron obviously played on, is it Song Niger Within? The... Oh, what do you call him? For fucking Meshuggah?
Frederick
Thorndahl project.
Yeah.
And Per.
Yeah.
Per fucking Nielsen.
So this is an album of Per Nielsen shredding it up on guitar.
I'm totally into it.
Yeah, I am most of the way through it now. And, it's not going to set the world on fire. There was nothing on here that I was like, holy shit, this is the best song I've ever heard. But it was just good, progressive, fusion-y, jazzy, jam tune stuff. And I enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. So,
I would listen to Per solo over lift music, like elevator music, for an hour and be happy. Because I know that he's always going to pull something out where you go, oh, fuck that. Like, it was at least tasteful, and at best, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, and there's a lot of that on here. There's definitely things where I was like, that's a cool solo, or that's a cool lick. I want to check out what he's doing there. Per Nielsen is, I don't want to say painfully quiet when it comes to recording, but he's not out there doing a lot. You know what I mean? Like, and he's got such a cool voice. He's not even uploading shit. Like, it's not like guys like Tom Quayle, who, while they aren't putting records out, is putting out a shit ton of video content for you, so you can constantly see him doing his thing. Per Nielsen's not even doing that. So
I think the difference is, is Per known as much an educator? Like, does he do lessons and stuff?
He has. He does have an instructional DVD, Scar Guitar, which is fantastic, by the way.
Right, I can imagine that'd be around a bit when Pitch Black Progress came out. I'd imagine. Aye, that will be ridiculous. But if that's not his main thing, which I'm sure it was for Tom, then I can see why that's maybe not the thing that he focuses most on. But I will admit, I am usually very excited when I see that he's put a video up of him just jamming along with something.
Exactly. So he's engaging in that. He is doing, like, here's me jamming over a Jack Gardner tune, or whatever. Here's a backing track. I'm just having some fun type thing.
I mean, if you were Jack Gardner and you see that video coming, you would just be wanking your pan in, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, Jack's a tremendous player, but just be like, I'm just going to play one of his tracks. Like, oh.
Exactly.
Somebody's going to end up clipping that. You'll end up clipping that and turning it into something wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said that, because now you've got to do it.
Yeah, I'm going to make a note of when that happened. 39 minutes. 39 minutes.
69 minutes, 420 seconds.
Yeah, so it's just another, how long is it? Best part of 45 minutes or something like that. It's just more Per Nielsen playing. And the world needs more of that. So go and check it out. Again, the album is called Circle of Silence by Nicholas Brandstrom. And I've butchered the pronunciation of that, I'm absolutely sure. We will post a link to this in the show notes. So go and check it out. From what I can see, it's only available on Bandcamp. You can stream it on Bandcamp. You can buy it on Bandcamp. I had looked for it on Spotify, couldn't find it. I've not checked YouTube or anything like that. And funnily, right, so the only reason I know about this is because Per posted about it on Facebook, but he didn't post about it on Facebook in a like, hey guys, I've just played on a new album, check it out. Let me tell you exactly what Per said. Makes me even worry that maybe he doesn't even like this record, like what he's done here. I thought this was so strange. I had to follow the post to get more information. So, okay, now people are finally posting about it. He posted... Where the hell is it?
Dear Slam.
Did he pull a post down? Right. So yesterday, he posted, Per Nielsen is recently feeling alone, under feeling, and then put, recently an album full of my guitar playing was released, and no one noticed. You won't believe what happened next, right? No link to the album. Literally, that was it. And I was like, what?
That sounds like one of those like augmented reality games. I can't remember what the term is for it, but it's like an immersive game, like a puzzle that goes into real life. I can't remember the name yet. The Cicada Project was one.
Right.
Like people would put like geocaches and stuff about. Maybe Per was just kind of alluding to this, like, go and find it. It's a surprise if you can get it.
Well, so looking at it, it does. There's the potential that it's very clever because that got a lot of people interested. Tons of people commenting on it, and then over half an hour later, he started responding to people with a link to the album, which
of course, clever.
It's going to make the post show up for more people, I guess. So, yeah, maybe that's just some very, very clever marketing. It certainly got my attention, and we're talking about it now. So, one last time, Nicholas Brandstrom, Circle of Silence.
Getting about it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm sure you dig it. Right, should we talk Fender?
We've got a couple more stories where we get to laugh, which is nice because I like laughing at things. There's one that I don't want to laugh at too much, but yeah, let's go with what you want to start with first.
Well, so you think that I'm sucking on the Fender dick recently?
I thought that at first, and then you said, no, just wait till I've got my take on it. Yeah. Because I just saw you posting a couple of things for Fender, and obviously we were talking about Fender Play before, and blah, blah, blah.
Well, I wanted to post about the, what do they call it, the troublemaker, the Fender Telecaster, the troublemaker, which is their clearly Les Paul, electrics, the layout thing. I don't know how I feel about these. I can't decide if they look cool or if they don't look cool. But I've seen them pushing them quite hard. So on screen now is a picture of the Fender Troublemaker Tele Deluxe.
For that money, I'd many other guitars.
How much?
Not £2,189.
Oofed.
Yes, $2,500.
That's
or just under.
Yeah, silly money.
It's a lot of money. I mean, I'm sure it's a great instrument. It looks like the finish is quite incredible on it, but I definitely prescribe to your thoughts on Telecasters. Like, you don't need to be fancy. Like, it's a meat and potatoes guitar. It's a working guitar.
Yeah.
You can have all the bells and whistles, and you can be like John 5 and have like a literally mirrored finish and whatever else. Or you could have this crazy, what's meant to be like an aged Les Paul gold pickup, covers, hardware, etc. And again, credit where credit's due. It's a nice looking guitar.
Sure.
I don't think it's £2,200 for me.
Yeah, and
there's a lot of other instruments out there that I would rather spend the money on.
Yeah, for comparison, this is more expensive than the Brent Mason Telly, right?
Aye.
And the Brent Mason Telly comes with a fucking B-bender installed on it. Like,
and the good ones,
how do you...
did you not see the person that does the B-bender?
Oh, it's the Joe Glazer designed B-bender. So,
and he does it specifically, so it'd be a good one.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, you'd be looking at paying the best part of $1,000 just to have that, to have Joe Glazer put a bender on one of your tellies. So,
well, there you go.
Yeah, and that guitar is £2,000. So this is more expensive than that, and this is just a no frills, very to the point. It's everything I hate about Telecasters, but everything I love about Telecasters. The problem is the price, as you pointed out. There's no arm contour on it, which I love. There's no tummy contour on it, which I love. It is a simple meat and potatoes guitar, this particular one. Why is it that expensive? There's just no possible justification for it being that expensive.
I'm not too sure. I like the... maybe they're just targeting prestige. They've probably went, well, Gibson already charged 5 times more than the guitar's worth before they even sell them to the shops. So maybe we should just jump on that bandwagon. But the advert itself, like the text on the Fender website for this guitar is just... I love reading this because it's like... in my mind, it's like watching somebody suck their own dick and talk about how good it tastes. It's just weird. So I'll read this, right?
Yeah, please do.
It takes a big personality to show up in a white tux, and the troublemaker telly, and then obviously it's got the trademark registered logo, has the swagger to pull it off. The bold Olympic white lacquered finish and swanky gold hardware belies this guitar's true purpose, to cause an uproar and make a racket. But it's not all style over substance. This telly has class. The body is a solid chunk of mahogany, known for its mid-range growl and sustain. The 12-inch radius neck and 22 medium jumbo frets promise smooth action, even with the most aggressive playing, and its custom double tap trademark humbucking pickups give the troublemaker its rowdy yet refined voice. It's been said that the well-behaved rarely make history. With a martini in one hand and brass knuckles in the other, the troublemaker telly custom is ready to make some beautiful noise.
Yeah.
I don't know about how having a martini and brass knuckles and on either fist would make any good noise. Never mind holding a guitar with something that's going to probably get the guitar wet and another thing that's going to just be like a slide at the bridge and just make really a horrible aggressive noise.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
is this like a
not for me.
Like no, it's like an art installation that somebody's explained.
Yeah.
Nah. Sorry, it's just.
Don't think I'll be.
It's a no from me.
Unfortunately,
it's a no from me.
I mean, I'm just having a quick glance through Fender's website, and yeah, there's a made in Japan troublemaker Telecaster, which is half the price, £1,100, and available in like a kind of burgundy crimson red, which is much cooler. So, but still, nope, that's going to be a no from me, guys. Thank you very much. But if you could hurry up and send me my fucking Brent Mason Telecaster, that would be fantastic.
Right.
Oh, Mike.
What?
Oh, I might have found a sexy one.
Okay.
It's coming to you.
Okay.
So on screen now is the Parallel Universe Volume 2 Troublemaker Telly Deluxe with Bigsby.
Oh, right. Okay. I mean, you've definitely piqued my interest. I'm just loading this now. No.
Your face says everything.
You know what it looks like?
Go on.
You ever been on one of those guitar builder websites where you can just drag and drop anything you want on a body? That is what that looks like. That I hope that is a Photoshop, because if that's the real guitar that I'm zooming in on, good God, that needs to go in the bin. Fuck right off.
I like it.
Tell me you're being sarcastic.
No, I like it.
Okay. Well,
I like a wee
I
Bigsby.
suppose each to their own. The good thing is that you can. I love Bigspies too, but that's fucking grotesque.
Yeah.
If I was somebody in Fender, I would take that as an insult that they think the Les Paul Black Beauty could be that ugly. Because that's, honestly, man, it's like, oh, no. Anyway, sorry. So we're going to laugh at Fender yet more, because they've obviously got a really good big sale coming on.
Yeah.
For Black Friday. And all of you out there who have been buzzing for a new guitar and you've just got a wee bit of pocket change, then the good thing is, if you've been looking at the prices and thinking, I'll need to reel it in a bit, they've got you. Black Friday is coming, and Fender's Game of Thrones models have had their prices slashed by up to $8,000.
What a saving.
Big savings, you know what I mean? Big saving the highly collectible House Stark and House Targaryen models, apparently. So this is from Guitar World. This was posted yesterday as well. This is, I mean, I remember us talking about these when they first came out and being like, they're really cool, and then seeing the price and being like, they can just stop being produced.
Yeah.
Certainly not for me. I can get it as a collector item, right? Fair enough. Same as, like, do you remember the, I think it was the 25th anniversary Jaguar Strats?
Yep.
The gold hardware and stuff, and gold frets. Not my cuppa. But cool, you know what I mean? Interesting. As a showpiece. Anyway. Black Friday guitar deals may be on the horizon, but hold the door. If you've got a budget of a Lannister right now, if not the house loyalty, you may be interested to know that there are huge discounts available in Fender's ultra collectible Game of Thrones electric guitars over at Guitar Centre. Right, first thing, right, that was a shit joke.
Yep.
If you've got the budget of a Lannister right now, right? Second thing, huge discounts.
I mean, they are huge discounts.
Okay, but 50% off $1 million, still $500,000.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And thirdly, ultra collectible. I don't know anybody that's just going to have this kind of money lying about to go, fuck it, I'm just going to buy this guitar that's going to appeal to a very niche market when I could probably pick up an antique of those shapes proper at its time and make money on it within a year.
Yeah.
It kind of blows that comment of these being ultra collectible right out the water.
Well, the fact that Guitar Center still has these in stock tells you they are not collectible because people did not want to buy them.
No, Guitar Center are collecting them.
Yeah.
And they're collecting dust.
Yeah, which isn't working out well for Guitar Center, but we'll come on to that very soon.
I'm giving you a wee applause before we go any further, because see that segue? That was beautiful.
Yeah.
That's like a prophesizing.
Yeah.
So the House Start Telecaster has had $6,000 lopped off its asking price,
Oh.
bringing it down to $19,000. Well, the House Targaryen Stratocaster is down $8,000 to $27,000. Before you ask, the House Lannister Jazzmaster is sold out.
Oh.
So it's not so much that you're getting a really good deal. It is that these are the two that of the four, I think there was four made, wasn't there?
I'm sure there was four made.
The two of the four that didn't sell as well, because let's face it, the Targaryen Strat, as the House Targaryen Stratocaster, doesn't look good. And that Telecaster is pretty cool, but if they had managed to put the sigil on the scratch plate 90 degrees better, it'd be really cool. But really, it just looks like an angry animal sniffing your crotch if you're playing that.
Exactly. It's a cool looking guitar, but fucking hell, what were they thinking? $25,000.
It's not just.
I wouldn't want the beast looking down sucking I want an actual beast on the back sucking my dick for $25,000. $25,000. What the fuck are they thinking?
Fender, that's what they're thinking.
Who buys this? I want Fender to be the good guys. The whole Gibson versus Fender thing, right? I want to rip on Gibson and be like, meanwhile, over here, you've got Fender being absolutely reasonable and, you know, totally deserving of your money. But then you see this. Fucking clowns.
Well, you know what, right? I'm going to get political for just a second.
Oh, who would have guessed it?
Right? You know what I mean? This is two-party policies here. You're talking about Gibson and Fender being the only two, right? It's like us talking about the Tories and Labour. They're two sides to the same coin. Especially with Keir Starmer at the fucking helm these days. Anyway, I'll bite my tongue on that one because things are getting pretty bad. Britain's basically becoming, do you want extreme poverty or do you want extreme poverty with a different name? But my point is that Labour have always looked the good guys. In the last 20 years, they have not been. So Fender are looking the good guys. Maybe I'm wrong. So hopefully they come through. They can be a new hope.
So you're saying Fender are the Labour Party. Fantastic.
Yes.
Let's
run by Jeremy Corbyn.
Let's go and finish the show up by talking about Guitar Center. Because we've talked about this
history
a lot.
Repeats.
Yeah.
History repeats.
We knew it was coming. The thing that pleases me about this is Rob Chapman, because I know he's owed a lot of money by them.
That is come on, behave. I'm all about look at you loving it. I know you actually mean what you're saying too. The way I see it, right? Any other year, wouldn't give a fuck. This year, I think even absolute misguided bully dickheads don't deserve to have food taken out their mouths. And that's obviously my opinion.
What do you mean? If Rob doesn't get his money from Guitar Center, that would be bad because he doesn't deserve. He's got plenty of food.
No, I'm not. I'm not commenting what your situation is.
Sure.
I'm just saying that this year my outlook has changed. Even on people that I might have problems with. I don't want to see anybody in the creative industries going down because I think we need a bit of solidarity across the music and arts and creative chapters, even with people that we don't want to.
I'm less goodwill to all men.
You're definitely less goodwill to Rob Chapman.
I'm goodwill to most men.
Aye, that's like goodwill to some.
Yeah. I'm goodwill to anybody that hasn't threatened to sue me, you know? I think that's
for nothing.
Yeah, generally that's my rule. That's my rule. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I have to go and see my lawyer over you, no goodwill to you anymore.
Would it not be beautifully ironic that he hasn't sued you because he's waiting on the money coming for Guitar Center to hire a lawyer, but he can't? So you're in this limbo. That sounds like poetic justice.
Yeah, and I'm enjoying every last second of it. There was a glorious moment. I don't even know if I told you this actually. I certainly told a bunch of people on my Discord server. I don't know how this worked. I'm sure it's not the case anymore, but let me check.
Mm-hmm. While you're looking that up, just a quick shout out to the the Discord server and updated posts in there. I am really terrible at checking it. I know
Sure.
Levi does check it, so I do get to see what's said there. If I miss anything and I haven't answered you back or whatever, tag me or tell Levi to tell me. Because see, when I get notifications on my phone that I've been tagged on Discord, most of the time it's in servers where they just global push and it says like at everyone.
Everyone, yeah.
I tend not to look at them anymore because it's like stupid things where I've joined a server for like playing DayZ, and it's this server, and it's just like telling everyone we've updated the rules. You can't use this specific type of weapon in this area or all that pish. So avoid it. Anyway, sorry. Tell me about
the comedy news was somebody on my Discord pointed out to me that there was a period of 3 days where if you typed Rob Chapman's name into Google,
you did show me this.
Yeah, the image that came up for Rob Chapman is his default, on Google, I'll say the name and then a picture of who the person is. The default image was the screenshot from my video telling him to stop lying. So it's just me pointing at the screen saying, "Stop lying, Rob." Absolutely gloriously hilarious. No idea how it happened. It has been rectified, and I imagine that's because someone in his camp freaked the fuck out. So,
he's not only been like, right, how the fuck do we un-SEO this wrong image?
Totally the right image.
You sent me a video and I was killing myself laughing. You should put the video into this clip, but you won't because you'll forget to edit it, and I don't blame you. You're busy enough.
Absolutely. So yeah, read through this story for us because I can't read. So that's my thing. I can't look left.
I was coughing my lungs up the other night, obviously, after going for the test, and I had a really, really bad coughing fit, and I just turned to Nancy and went, "I think I got the black lung, pup." Sorry, this is on Loudwire, right? Shouldn't really be laughing about this. This is a pretty bad scenario, but it's one that we anticipated happening the last time it was going to happen.
Sure.
According to the New York Times, Guitar Center could file for bankruptcy by November, having missed an interest payment of roughly $45 million earlier this month. An interest payment of $45 million. The COVID-19 pandemic has dealt a crushing blow to businesses nationwide, with one survey suggesting that 1 in every 6 restaurants in the United States is closed. As the country's largest retailer of music instruments, Guitar Center has been hit especially hard as much of its business relies on store-based sales. Can we just take a wee step back and just think about the contradiction in this, as opposed to what the American government said the other day, that COVID is gone, we beat it, essentially.
That's not the contradiction I'm seeing here. You can't have it both ways, Loudwire. You can't run with stories saying that COVID has been fantastic for the guitar business and that guitar sales are booming. And every manufacturer will tell you that the sales of their product are booming in a way that they never have been because people are stuck at home and they're buying guitars. They're wanting to take up a hobby and then say, but Guitar Center can't sell any guitars. Like, guitars are being sold. If they're being sold and Guitar Center's not the place that's selling them, Guitar Center's the problem. I don't see this as being... They've been having problems long fucking before COVID.
They have. They're not saying that COVID is the main reason, for what I can take as context. What I can see here is that COVID has dealt a crushing blow to businesses nationwide. So that's what I took for that, is that it's an impact in business in general, the economy in general. And the largest retailer in music instruments, Guitar Center, has been hit especially hard as much of its business relies on store-based sales. Yeah. So I think they're pointing that and saying, because you are operating in a manner that doesn't meet current needs, which is basically being online and having full availability, and just hitting that ridiculous on-demand instant customer service, no wait times, guitar comes to you tomorrow, it's set up, here's all the options we can give you, all the add-ons at the checkout, all that. I think that's where they fucked it. So I think that's what I took for that. I don't know if you thought it different. It sounds as if I was totally jumping on you there, sorry.
No. I like it when you clarify what you're going for. So I'm sure everyone else appreciates it too.
You love when I take control, Daddy, is that what it is?
Yeah.
We're going to end up getting that fucking fan fiction brought up again. That's the only time I've ever seen you speechless, ever. After missing their $45 million payment, a 30-day has been activated, which could ultimately end in default. I'm guessing that's a 30-day notice.
Yeah.
Like not a subpoena, but here's, we're going to default on you if you don't make this payment. A 30-day something has been activated, which could ultimately end in default. Though Guitar Center reportedly generated $2.3 billion of sales during its most recent fiscal year, the music chain is roughly $1.3 billion in debt and had its credit rating downgraded by Moody's back in May. Despite its struggle to shift to online sales following a buyout in 2007, Guitar Center experienced a fairly successful 2.5 years, growing its sales for 10 consecutive quarters before the end of February. Spokespeople for Guitar Center and Aries management declined to comment on the New York Times report. It's not good when a company decides to hold stum about the impending doom. And I've got to say, like, it's rumoured, but it's an impending doom if they can clarify that this massive payment was missed.
Yeah, I like, obviously this is bad. This is not good for Guitar Center. Yeah, I want to be charitable to the inevitable people that are going to end up unemployed because of this. But at the same time, we've reported time and time again the Guitar Center doing shitty things, doing just capitalizing on shitty situations that people are going through. So I want to say, to the owners of Guitar Center, fuck you. I have friends that work for Guitar Center, so I have friends that potentially can find themselves out of work. Students of mine that teach at Guitar Center, etc. And it's a shitty situation, and prepare for the worst, and then hopefully you'll be pleasantly surprised. You know what I mean? Like,
aye, absolutely. And you know what? This is not going to be the only music high street retail brand that really suffers, and for it to be the biggest to potentially be the first to fall, it's probably not good.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that this has been a long time coming. Think about how the high streets themselves are already dying, and there is something about it that doesn't make sense to me. It kind of doesn't sit right with me that people would much rather buy an instrument online and not have a chance to touch it and feel it and play it and get accustomed to it if it's what they actually want.
Sure.
But again, that's been happening for a long time, so that's entirely up to that person. That's not so much an economical choice unless they stay somewhere far or it's much easier to get it delivered.
Yep.
Maybe it's just logistical. But that's probably my advice. If you're ever going to buy an instrument, is go and try one first. Yeah. Make sure you're happy with it. And if it's the one in the store that you really fall in love with, tell them I want this one off the wall.
Sure.
Give me some off it. But to go back to the point without, again, disappearing into another void, it's not something we weren't expecting from Guitar Center. And as you say, prepare for the worst.
Yeah, this is hardly a full-on Schadenfreude moment. This is needed to be reported on because we've seen this coming for a very long time. It's probably going to happen, but who knows? This time next year, we'll probably be like, can you believe it? Guitar Center might be filing for bankruptcy.
They might do what HMV do.
Yeah.
I remember reported on that. Just have like a parent company, I believe is the term they use. And then all the profit goes to that, and then, oh, boo-hoo, we haven't made enough money, we're going to have to shut down. Somebody else buys it over, and they basically just buy the stock and a tiny wee bump for the name that they think buys them the, not the business acumen, the business...
The credit line, I would imagine.
Well, that too, aye. Basically, the goodwill of the business, the reputation, the relationships with suppliers and distributors, etc. Aye. Yeah. But aye, things are not good.
Sure.
And hopefully they'll get better. That's probably about as hopeful as I can be.
Yeah, hopefully they'll get better for the people involved, not for the company. The company's done.
Aye, probably. But
company's done.
At the same,
mate, they're stocking $25,000 Fender Telecasters.
Mm-hmm.
They're stocking.
They're on sale.
Yeah,
they're on sale.
Yeah, shocking.
I've only ever been in Guitar Center like twice, and I found it a really, really strange place. Because there was so much equipment, but not... Maybe it was the store I was in, and because it was like the first time I was in the States, I was kind of dumbstruck. But there didn't seem to be much order to it. There was a lot of second-hand stuff in between the other guitars, and it wasn't like... You get into guitar, you've got Jackson, or metal-style guitars, Fender, Gibson, stuff is generally put together, so you've got a range of what you're looking at.
Yeah.
The Guitar Center I was in, it was everywhere.
Yeah.
It was interesting though. I'd be pretty gutted for all my musician friends and anybody that works for Guitar Center to see that die, because obviously it's got a bit of heritage to it being the biggest retailer.
Yep, but who knows? Maybe someone else can come in and carve their way into the business now and do things better.
Me and you're going to buy a palette from Wish.com. I'm going to write our names on the side in a biro pen, and then we're going to send things out.
All right, Barnes Lenedict. On that note,
I was thinking they're Beth Jezos.
Yeah. On that note, Mike, did you know This show has been brought to you by our friends over at Ormsby Guitars. If you have the time, please do head on over and follow them on Instagram to see more of their incredible work. I'm actually spending more and more of my time each day scrolling through Instagram and really getting the appeal of looking at incredible instruments like this. It just makes you want to order something really, really special. Of course, you can always contact them if you want to order a custom shop guitar, or head on over to their website, check out the pre-order section, and get involved on the upcoming Goliath Run 14. Again, one of these guitars can be pre-ordered for as little as $1,200 US. That's an incredible price. That's a lot of guitar for very little money. So if you want something like this in your life, head on over to ormsbyguitars.com and get involved. Thanks so much to Ormsby, and we'll see you for another show soon. Laters. So as always, a massive thank you to our friends over at Ormsby Guitars. You guys absolutely fucking rock. Thank you very much for the love, kindness and support. And if you want to go and support those guys, follow them on Instagram, check out their website. And as I said in that little ad run, consider checking out their latest runs of guitars and seeing if there might be something that you want to pick up. There's lots of cool stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we mentioned this before as well, but there's obviously a very active Facebook group for the Ormsby Guitars.
Yep.
And it would be very beneficial if you're even slightly interested for you to join.
Yep.
Most of the users on there are just people who are enthusiastic about the brand, whether they've got 1 or 10 custom shops or GTX series, any number of things. But it's a great group. I'm quite active in it, to be fair. Levi can be at times. If you want to go over there and say that we sent you, you could do that. If you want to go over and just see what it's like, you could do that. It's a pretty good wee place to be. There's a lot of content on there and a lot of, as I say, a lot of activity. Even Perry himself does a good bit in there. And that is the Ormsby Guitars GTR/GTX series info and user group.
Maybe I'll make a promise, right? Tomorrow when I do my Brent Mason solo, I'll do it on my Ormsby. And then I'll post it up in the Ormsby group. Nice.
I've got some, I'm hoping to have some content with the Ormsby Guitars in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So
cool.
Maybe you and I'll be plugging and plugging and plugging and plugging.
We're constantly plugging, mate. That's why I'm so tired. I'm just relentlessly plugging.
And see, at the same time, man, I just want to say that I'm super grateful, because I know I've said this over and over in the podcast, man, but it still kind of gets me at times when I think that's a brand that I've been following for years and years and years that I really fucking loved. I had interactions with Perry on the forums, always thought great things, always wanted to get my hands on one, and now I'm in partnership with them.
Yeah.
To put it bluntly, and it's mind blowing.
Yeah.
Why would they want any business with me?
Yeah, super cool.
That's cool. That's really good, and I'm very grateful for that. So anybody that's listening, thank you.
Then they're nice guys. What's this? Oh, Teespring.
Right, here's wait. Here's a wee.
It was just a Teespring email.
All right, okay. But did you think there was something exciting coming through there?
Yeah, like a promo code that I could have given out to people.
Maybe we'll see if Perry can give us a promo code and some merch and stuff. And we affiliate link, see what it can get done.
Yeah.
They don't really offer discounts on the guitars, which is totally fair. Everybody gets the same prices, whether you buy directly from them or you buy from the European distributors or whatever stores got them. I think that's really cool. I get that. I'm on board with that. But maybe for care packs and add-ons and some t-shirts and stuff, maybe that's something we can talk about, because I know you and Perry were musing maybe a month or so ago and running through what you're going to do. So here's my challenge for everybody that's yeah, definitely. There's at least 2 items coming. Here's my challenge for everybody that's watching. If you're listening, I'm sorry, you probably won't be able to take part. Look at Levi's face and try and work out what drugs he's on. I'm only kidding, he's just tired.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
I didn't know if you would like play into it or if you just laugh.
Oh no, I'm gonna proper play into it. I've taken up my parents' favourite pastime of heroin. That's me.
Fuck off.
Mike, do you have any closing messages for our wonderful listeners?
Thanks once again for listening. Sorry this one's late. Something we haven't actually addressed yet as well. But I'm sure after everything that's happened with Levi and myself that you've heard about at the start of every episode in the last 6 weeks to 2 months, if not more, you probably understand that our schedules are a wee bit messed up now.
Yeah.
And that's not an excuse or a reason for us not uploading every Sunday, which we've tried to do, and we did quite well.
We had a good run.
But we did, but we'll get back to it.
Yeah.
That's a pinky promise. I'm just waiting on like a nuke landing in my back garden because I'm totally just like chance and luck here.
Yeah.
Chance and fate. But provided Earth doesn't come to a standstill, we'll do our best to get back on schedule.
Yeah.
And thanks to anybody that's reached out and said, I'm waiting this episode, is it going to be up soon? Or I've searched Google and nothing's up. Have you not got the tags on it or anything like that? Like, it's genuinely humbling when people message us to say, I'm looking forward to hearing your opinion on things that you shouldn't even be talking about because you don't.
Yeah,
but it's great.
It's such a nice feeling, and also a terribly disappointing one knowing that you're letting people down. You know what I mean?
Aye, I totally get you. It's weird. It's bittersweet that way.
It drives us to continue doing it though. So if you do enjoy the show, leave us a comment and let us know.
Yes,
Mike. Until next time.
Stay hydrated.
I've just given up. I've just at this point, you just say whatever it is the fuck you're going to say, and I'm just going to hurl abuse at you as the show fades out, just like this. So go fuck yourself.
Levi sucks.